Welcome back to the workshop. This week we're going to run through some of the homemade tools that I've made in the shop that I haven't made videos for, but I thought it might be worthwhile running through, having a look at them, a quick look, and if people want more details they can ask questions in the comments. This was after I saw a video by Chuck Bomarito. He went through some of the things he's made in his shop, and I thought, well, that's a pretty good idea. I think I might do that, and also a bit of a challenge to anybody else with a home machine shop. Let's see some of the stuff that you've made in your shop. It's a pretty easy video to make, and it should be pretty interesting. Anyway, let's go. Alright, the first tool we're going to have a look at is this slide hammer that I made, and I use this on the milling machine for tapping stuff into the vise, and I find it's much better than swinging a hammer around because it's very easy to hit something that you didn't mean to hit, such as expensive indicators, you know, and that kind of gear. So don't ask me how I know. This works pretty well. It's very precision. It's got a copper. Oh, Jesus! When you do that, it's got a copper end on there, and that can screw out. Simple construction. It's made of stainless steel. I put a pin through that end to stop it sliding around, because that takes the brunt of the banging force, and the other end is press fit onto there. There you go. Knock that up in a weekend. Very handy tool. The next tool I'll show is this sign block that I made. Won't focus yet. So this is something I made on the surface grinder. It's a pretty standard design. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think if I was going to do it again, I wouldn't put those holes through there. They're kind of not great, but I think the standard way is to tap it from the drill, is to connect those bolts in from the top. But anyway, it works. This is made from 20mm linear rail, which is very handy stuff. And once you get through the outer skin with a bit of tungsten, you can part it off, and it also grinds really well. This is made out of some hard steel, die maker's steel, I forget the grade, but yeah, works great. Anyway, easy project if you have a surface grinder, which probably nobody does. Anyway, next project is this Squareness comparator, and I kind of borrowed the design from some German bloke I saw on YouTube. I can't remember his name. Stephen somebody. Anyway, I used his design, obviously Stefan. Changed it a little bit. It can be used as a surface gauge, so you can use it for measuring the height of stuff the way you normally would, but the way I most often use it is as a squareness comparator. So say you wanted to test how square that is, you put that on the surface plate, and you butt up against there, and you rock it and find the high spot. And the way you calibrate it is you get a piece of parallel steel, usually a 123 block or something else. It's very easy to, if you have a grinder, to make something that's parallel, and it doesn't have to be square, but you just check it on one side and check it on the other side, and average the difference, and you end up with something that's square. You can derive squareness that way in the home shop to very, very high level of precision. This has got 3 ball bearings on the bottom, pressed in, and then just a couple of thou taken off to flatten them off. This is linear rail again, 20mm. This is all just machined out of hardened steel. It doesn't really need to be hardened. It has a bronze bush in there because I stuffed up the diameter of the for less friction. And the cool thing about this was that because I didn't have room for a knob up the top, which was the way it was supposed to work once I put this indicator on, I had to solve the problem of the adjuster knob. And you can see that if I turn that there, it rocks forward, which isn't actually terribly effective anyway, but you know, it does something. There's a flexure on the bottom, but the way that works is there's a rod inside there in the middle, and it has a 45-degree flat on the end, and there's a rod pointing down that has a 45-degree flat on the end, and this little thread pushes that rod down, and it pushes that rod down and transfers the motion 90 degrees, which I think is very cool. Kind of works, but as a tool it's very nice. Love it. Use it all the time actually, and to convince myself how out of square my 1 to 3 blocks are and whatever. This is pretty cool. This is my knurling tool. You probably might have seen photos of this on my Instagram. It's made from a Hemingway kit, and so they provided the designs, and I just bought the plans and provided all the materials myself. And this goes on the ML7 or either of the Myfords, and that fits into the Dixon tool post. I made that tool holder myself, which was a very interesting machining project. The whole project was really quite a challenge. Getting all these radiuses right was really hard. I stuffed up the first one and had to try it again, and I did it by making a plate. I used a piece of 10mm plate and drilled all the holes accurately to locate things, and then bored everything out and used pins to locate it. It works very, very well. You tighten down with this threaded clamping thread there, and once you've got it right, you use this as a cam. It's just called a sensitive knurling tool, and that just provides a very tiny amount. It's about a 1/16 of a cam lobe, which gives you an incredible mechanical advantage, and also a great amount of feel, and you get a really nice result. And I put all that together, made this nice box jointed box for it, and that lives in my cupboard and occasionally gets used, but really a fun project to make. That's probably enough for this video. I have got a few other things around. I might make another project at some other point to cover those, but you know, it's a bit of a challenge. Anybody else has got tools that they've made? Let's see them. They're so interesting.